Here we are. Welcome, everyone. Welcome into the Prism for Enterprises School of Small Business. Here is where we share resources, tips, strategies for aspiring small businesses and entrepreneurs to help them along their small business journey. I am Salome Chung, and I'm the CEO of Prism for Enterprises. I would like to invite you to share with your friends, your family, and anyone you know who is contemplating this journey to tune in to us. And I'm sure you won't go away disappointed. You will get a wealth of information. Today, I'm so excited to introduce our guest. She is a marketing, sales, and leadership expert, six-time best-selling author, co-founder of the amazing networking organization Women's Prosperity Network, and she is the business coach extraordinaire. Welcome to Nancy Matthews. Nancy, I'm so happy you're here, and I'm so excited for you to share your expertise and your advice to aspiring business owners and entrepreneurs. So glad you're here. Nancy, I first want to say you've been an inspiration to me, and I know that you'll be the same for our audience. So with that said, I'm just going to ask you to share with our audience. Today, we're going to kind of focus on marketing and sales, your expertise in those areas as it relates to aspiring business owners and small businesses.
Love it. Thank you so much for having me and for what you're doing to support more entrepreneurs creating thriving businesses that, you know, feed them, feed their families, and make an impact. So it's a privilege to be here, and hopefully we'll drop some nuggets that'll, you know, move someone forward and get them past a challenge, perhaps.
Awesome. So Nancy, as a marketing expert, and from my experience in business, this is going to add so much value to me as well, even as someone who is an established business owner. But marketing results in visibility. The visibility results in growth and sales and growth. Most startups can't, or they don't invest in marketing or a marketer, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Where should they focus their initial bootstrapping efforts? And when is expert advice absolutely needed for them to obtain profitability and grow their business?
All right, so there's a few layers in there.
Okay.
In terms of marketing, if you're just starting out and you don't really have a budget, the most important piece is to create your visibility through the many free channels that are available to us. So you can be on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, TikTok, YouTube. There's lots of marketing avenues that you can get on that will not cost you money. They will cost you time. And in doing so, my suggestion is that you focus on the things that you're sharing, that they're positive and uplifting in terms of pointing out your area of expertise. So what's the problem that you solve? What's the impact in people's lives? And then offer through social media some tips and strategies that'll help your ideal customer make a little bit of progress. Once you do that, then they'll want to follow you and get in touch with you and find out more about you.
Awesome. That is such an invaluable nugget, because when you start out as a small business, the last thing you're thinking about is spending money, because you have none.
Yeah, and so here's the focus that I really want you to all take in. Is the most important things in life and in business are not things at all. So when you're thinking about all the many things you've got to do, I want you to just kind of get centered. Who is that person that I want to serve? What is the problem that they have? How can I make a difference for them? What are they going through? It's probably a challenge you experienced as well, and you want to provide, guidance to people so they don't have to go through as many struggles that you may have. So whenever you start to feel overwhelmed, just bring yourself back. Who is that person? What are they feeling, and how can I help them?
Awesome. Someone gave me that advice a long time ago, that exactly what you said. When you're in business and trying to make connections and grow your business, the key is to focus on the other person.
Mm-hmm.
How can you serve them? And automatically, then they want to know how to serve you. So, it's the place to start. That is so amazing, Nancy. Now, for small business owners, when they start out, they're doing the research. They're told, when you do your marketing, you got to do the SWOT analysis, analyze what your strengths, your weakness, your opportunities, and your threats to your business, as well as, the barriers to entry, of course. In your opinion, what role should each play in establishing a marketing plan, if any? Because, you may.
Sure.
Go ahead.
So first of all, I create businesses based upon a tenet that I learned from Michael Gerber, who is the author of, oh my God, the name of his book escapes me at the moment, but it'll come to me. So he is a small business guru. And The Entrepreneur Myth, I think is the name of his book. And he says that when you're creating a business, you want to look for an unmet need in the marketplace. So create a business that solves people's problems better than anyone else does. Now, in order to do that, you've got to take a look at, well, what are other people doing? So, for example, I am a marketing expert, a business, a leadership coach, speaker, trainer. Like, there's lots of the types of me out there. The unique place that I work with people to solve their need is really helping them dial in on being the one that people seek out to find and being the one to move their business and their vision forward. So I'm really focused on the whole people component of business. So look at what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and see who you can get on your team or align with to balance those out. Look at what is the competition doing? What do you like about the way that, they do things, and what's that unmet need in the marketplace that you could still fill?
I often find that I read this article the other day. It was a startup. And what the founder said was, the first thing I did was I identified a competitor and I acquired them. Yeah, oftentimes business owners think they don't think of the competition in the way you just outlined. They think of the competition as someone to be you're up against.
Like against, yeah.
It's kind of like, this is who I'm going to be butting heads with, rather than finding value in that kind of relationship.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's face it, like you and I potentially could look at each other as competition and go, oh no, we're not going to share. But I know you bring a different skill set and value to the table that could be of benefit to my client. And then I work with them in a different way. So I love that you're bringing that up, which is really the basis of Women's Prosperity Network. So we really sought to create this community for collaboration and support and co-creation. And that's what Women's Prosperity Network is based on.
Awesome. And that's why I so much enjoy being a part of it. And for you women business owners out there, you've got to be in that place. So I'm giving a shameless plug to Women's Prosperity Network. It's the place to be if you're a woman business owner.
Yeah, it's pretty It's special because of women like you,
Yes.
right? And as you're growing your business, think about, who do you want to be aligned with? Who are some of the partners that you want to get with? Who else serves your ideal client, but serves them in a different way? And this is, I'm going to take a step back if I could, because this is a marketing strategy that doesn't cost you anything, that will have you grow and acquire clients very quickly. So think about your ideal client, get back to who is that person, what's going on in their life, what do they experience? And let's say you provide, you're a health coach, let's just say, or fitness, you know, and all right, so the person who's going to wants better health, you know, are they seeing a doctor or a chiropractor? So now you can contact chiropractors and let them know your little slice of expertise that will enhance their client's life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That is so amazing and such great advice. And as I said, Women's Prosperity Network is where it's at, guys. You got to jump in, and believe it or not, we welcome men as well. So
we do for some things. We keep some things just
for some things, but the focus is definitely on the cooperation of the women in the group. So one thing that has always intrigued me, Nancy, as a small business owner, and especially when I was starting out, is the conundrum of, should I do all I can to get sales and then invest in marketing, or should I invest in the marketing and the goal is to make sure that marketing translates into sales? What is the best approach?
So my answer is, it depends.
Okay.
And here's how you decide it. So whenever a new client comes in, the question I ask is, how quickly do you need to be generating cash? And if someone comes and they're like, I just started this business, I don't have a job, I don't have any money in savings, I need to make money right away, then what we look for is, what's the fastest path to cash? What skills, expertise, you know, products do you have right now, this minute, that we can start selling to generate the cash, not only for you to survive, but to back invest in your business? So that it depends. When a client says, you know what, I want to build it slow and I want to build it right, and there's either one of these paths work, but it really depends on what is your most pressing need. And if you want to do the slower build, then we make sure that you got all your marketing language correct and you got your website up and running. But here's the thing, I want this to be perfectly clear. Anybody who's listening right now, if you have a desire and some expertise or a product that will make a difference for people in their lives, you don't have to wait until you have all that stuff created in order to start earning money. You can start earning money as soon as you start talking with people and sharing how what you bring to the table is going to enhance their lives.
In other words,
on that.
Now go ahead, Nancy.
Yeah, get clear on the value proposition that you bring and start talking to people, and you will have money. I had a client, a guy, you know, because I do work with lots of men as well. And he was out of commission for 5 years taking care of his father when he was ailing, and then his father passed away. So when I say he was out of commission, he wasn't on social media, had no website, wasn't networking, like totally 100% dedicated to taking care of his father. Father passed away, and after a little bit of grieving, he came back and he's like, I need to make money. He had no website, no business card, no social media presence, but he had a heart and he knew what his value was. He worked with people to help bring their visions to life, to help them really get clear on what their why and their purpose is. And that's the fuel that drives most things. So we met, we talked, he shared with me what his value proposition is. We set up a program structure, his payment of how people would pay him for his services. And within 30 days, no website, no business card, no social media presence, $26,000 in revenue.
Wow. And I'm sure everyone out there who's listening to you right now, Nancy, is saying, I want that. I need that strategy, whatever it is. I want it. I need it.
Yeah, yeah. And so that strategy is about getting clear on that person, what they're going through. Well, I'm going to bring it all back to the people that we're serving. We've got to understand them and how we can enhance their lives and make a difference, and then put value on yourself. You know, if you're in a service-based business, what is your hourly rate? Is it $50, $100, $200, $1,000 an hour? And, you know, oftentimes I need to stretch people a little bit to the higher ends of that hourly rate, because you, listen carefully, you don't realize how worthy and valuable you really are. And that's where you must surround yourself with people that see you for who you really are, beyond your fears and your limiting beliefs and your not good enough crap that swirls around in our heads. So get involved in some community of support that will shine the light on the awesomeness that is you.
Amazing. Now, Nancy, you touched on this a little bit before, and I'm going to digress, where you speak about your answer to my question was, it depends. Do you need it right now, or do you have time for growth?
Mm-hmm.
As an aspiring business owner, entrepreneur, new business owner, how soon do you think they should be thinking about getting a coach? Because that kind of strategy is not something that you have access to as someone who's new to business.
Mm-hmm.
That's a strategy you're going to learn from an expert, and how to employ it, what to do, what to include in the strategy to make it successful. So how do you get someone who is aspiring, who may not want to invest the money? How soon should they really be saying, I need a business coach, and that's what I need to do to get to where I need to be? How soon should a small business owner say it's necessary, it's not an option?
Immediately is the answer. And the key is not necessarily that you're hiring a business coach, but that you are surrounding yourself with experts, people who have gone where you want to go and will support you and give you suggestions and advice. So there are lots of places that you can go for no or low cost. Like, so for example, SCORE, which is the small business development arm that works, retired business owners often volunteer their time there. So you can look up SCORE, SCORE, and you can get mentorship through there right away. You can join communities like Women's Prosperity Network. We have lots of things that you can access for free. The key is to get that outside perspective and guidance to make your path easier. And sometimes we think, oh, I have to do this all by myself, blah, blah. Richard Branson didn't build his brands all by himself. Nobody does. Self-made millionaire is, maybe they developed the business, but they didn't do it by themselves.
They absolutely didn't. And I read this book by Malcolm Gladwell.
I love him.
The title escapes me now, but he's a big proponent of, you're in the right place, the right time. You met the right person at the right time and in the right place. That goes a far way to success. Yeah. So you are absolutely right when you say we all need people along this journey.
Well, and in today's world, you have access to them like never before. So get on Clubhouse. Gary Vee gets on Clubhouse. Les Brown gets on Clubhouse. Greg Sittel. Like, there are billionaires, multimillionaires and billionaires that are just on their phone talking about business and success and strategies. There is so much available to us. I love watching YouTube videos, and I watch Gary Vee all the time. Just found this guy, Ray Dalio, brilliant in business.
Yep, that's where I live. I love YouTube. There is
Yeah.
so much resources available on YouTube. You know, I was meeting with a business associate this past weekend, and I'm reading a book by he's part of your network, Bob Berg. I'm
I love my Bob.
reading Go Giver.
A good one.
And I thought, how can I serve someone today? So we were meeting and talking about different things. And I said, do you know what Clubhouse is? And he says, no, what's Clubhouse? Someone else told me about it, but I have no idea what it is. I said, if you're in business, you need to be on Clubhouse.
Yeah.
I was actually introduced to Clubhouse by a member of Women's Prosperity Network. And she said, you know, I get a ton of business just from going in the rooms, talking to people, introducing myself, talking about my business. We collaborate, we help each other in business is what it's about. So to the audience out there, if you're in business and you're looking for a place to start, tune into Clubhouse.
And it's free. And like I said,
absolutely free.
The people who have built successful businesses are there freely sharing advice and expertise. Now, when does it become time to hire somebody that you're going to keep in your pocket, right? And that would be, you know, when you have the funds, and look at it not as a cost, but as an investment. Every single time I've invested in coaching, and I have, you know, over the past 20 years, I'm sure I've invested way more than $100,000 or maybe even $200,000 in myself and in my businesses for coaching and programs and courses to help me grow, to help my business grow. It is absolutely necessary, because think about it this way. How much money do we pay for a university education, and then a master's program, and then if you go for a PhD? Look at all of that money that's invested in knowledge and education, which is all very, very valuable. Why would you stop? Or why would you not invest in your business continuously? Like that, you got to do it. It'll make it easier.
That's such great advice, Nancy. From my perspective as a small business owner, I did not go from point B to point C until I started investing in myself.
Yeah, me too.
Bootstrapping will only take you so far. You have got to invest in yourself as a business owner and in your business for it to get to where you need the business to go. So I'm so happy that you're drilling down on these little nuggets that really the audience needs to hear. You mentioned your one philosophy earlier in our conversation, and I had the chance to peek a little bit into the book. And you spoke about being the one in the community where people, you know, the audience looking to do business will say, well, she's the one I want to do business with.
Right.
Yeah. On another level, you also mentioned the non-focus on things and the focus on people. And part of that one philosophy is where you say you focus on bettering the world. And I wanted to get your take on how businesses, how their marketing plan can relate to putting a focus on bettering the world at large, whether their immediate community or their extended community. Oftentimes, businesses are just about business, business, business. But I find those that have a component where they serve their communities or they help people, oftentimes that those people become their tribe, and their
Right.
business gets grows exponentially.
Mhm.
So how can a small business um, tap into that?
So where I would start is, what is the impact that you want to make? And perhaps it's first on that individual customer or client that you want to serve, and then a community, and then the world. So bring it back to,
Yeah.
how are you making a difference in the life of the people that you're serving? Or where does your heartstring get pulled? Like, so with Women's Prosperity Network, part of the desire and passion around Women's Prosperity Network came from being a single mom, raising 2 kids on my own, not getting child support, having a full-time job and a part-time job, doing whatever I could to bring my kids up, bring my family to that next level. And I remember, I was working full time, and I was selling art in people's homes as a side job, as a way to get extra money. And I remember one of my coworkers, a secretary in the law firm that I was working at, and she was miserable. She was in a very unhappy, abusive marriage. And I was like, why don't you leave him? I'm all for marriage. Don't be thinking that I'm not. I am all for marriage, but I am not for abuse.
Yeah.
And she said, I can't, because I don't know how I would survive financially. So underneath Women's Prosperity Network's mission of guiding and equipping impact focused women to make successful businesses, right? Underneath that is, every woman should know how
Mhm.
to make money for themselves.
Yes, absolutely.
So fine, what's that thing that goes on that you're here to make a difference in, first in that person's life, and then in the systems and the structures that set that up in the first place?
Oh, awesome. Nancy, I can't tell you how much I've learned from you today in this short space of time.
Oh, I love being with you.
Having this conversation, and I am certain that our audience is going to take away quite a few nuggets from this conversation. Nancy, please tell the people and the audience how they can connect with you. Where can they find you? Where can they collaborate with you? All that good stuff.
All right, good. So first of all, you can go to my website, nancymatthews.com, and also Women's Prosperity Network. So going back to that first question that you asked me, one of the things we have at Women's Prosperity Network is you can get a free business listing. So that's marketing for free. Like, go to womensprosperityNetwork.com and get your free business listing. Have people start to get to know you, like you, and trust you, as Bob Berg would tell us to do. So join Women's Prosperity Network, come to nancymatthews.com. And I'm very Googleable. You'll find me around.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Nancy,
Thank you
thank you so much for being here and for the tremendous value that you've added here, and the tremendous value that the audience, listeners, if you're going to be watching this on YouTube, everything you're going to glean from this conversation. I so appreciate it, and I appreciate you. And until next time, tune in to Prism for Enterprises School of Business. We would love to have you. Nancy, thank you.